And we're on. Hello and welcome to podcast episode 134 of Rope-a-Dope Boxing, where the two Daves are back on a Thursday, actually recording on a Monday. We're back on a Thursday to bring you a bit of a preview and prediction show for the weekend of boxing coming forward. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're new to the channel via Spotify and via YouTube. Some nice comments, some nice reviews will help us grow the algorithms and grow the channel. You know how all that jazz works. Right, David boy, should we jump straight into it, mate?
Absolutely, mate.
The dreaded prediction league. Yeah, I started off so well this year. As you can guess, you know where it's going. So yeah, let's do it properly. Let's do it professional. Up it comes to prediction league. Last week, going into last weekend's actions, the score was Dave G, myself 10, Mr. Holland on 11. Let's see how we got on. You can tell by the tone of my voice I didn't win, but let's just have confirmation. Catcher Eubank, I went for Harlem on points. Nothing for me there. Dave went for Jack on points. So 3 points for Mr. Holland there. Cordina versus Kyrgios. We both went for Joe on points. So we both picked up 3 points apiece there. And Sky Nicholson against Carla Gonzalez. I went for Sky on points. So that's 1 point for me. And Dave went for Sky by KO in round 5. He's done it in 2, but he picks up the 3 points. Making the scores last weekend. Myself 4, David Holland 9. Going into this weekend's action, Dave G 10. Dave Holland 12. Yeah, well done. I'm not bitter.
Thanks. I told you it would come, mate.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what? This weekend as well, I've got to be honest. We've got nine fights to review. We've probably picked out the best. There's probably more to review, but 9's plenty to go through. Obviously, we've got a review of next week sometime as well when we come back from the wedding. But there's a couple in here that's fighting the weekend. I'm going by on loyalty.
Oh. So
I know I'm going to give points away, but we'll allude to that when we get to it. Let's jump in straight away then, mate, because we've got quite a bit to get through on this show. So, previews and predictions. Friday night at the MSG New York, the all-female card we've been waiting for. The announcement, obviously, from Jake Paul and MVP. They're putting on this card. Jake Paul, mate, he's been signing all the fantastic female talent that's about. He's really, whatever you think of Jake Paul, you know, he's setting the bar when it comes to the female game. He's giving them opportunities. He's putting world title fights on, and he's getting them paid. You can't knock the guy for that. And he's given us on Friday night, whether we want to see it or not, I'm up for this. And you know my opinion on proper trilogies. Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, part 3, the trilogy. Yes, it's 2-0 to Katie Taylor. Personally, well, factually it is 2-0, but personally, I think Katie won 1 and I think Amanda won 1. We're going to get 10 rounds of rock'em sock'em yet again. And this is why I haven't got a problem with this, Dave. We know exactly what we're getting from both girls. They both go to the center of the ring and they knock fuck out of each other. Now and again, you see the skill set come out from Amanda Serrano. You know what you're getting from Katie Taylor. I know she's 39 now, or back into her 30s. She's coming to the end of it. She gasses a lot, but she always fights on instinct. She's always in there to the end. She's always throwing. She's so exciting to watch, and that is why she's a superstar of women's boxing. Again, mate, haven't got a problem with this. Actually, looking forward to this main event on Friday night. I don't want to see I don't want to see number 4, just in case Amanda doesn't get the decision. I don't want to see 4, 5, 6, 7, just so Amanda gets the win. But yeah, how are you feeling about this trilogy fight, mate? Even though it's not really a proper trilogy because it's 2-0 Katie.
It's the best fight in the women's division. And that's why you could do it 3 times, even though it's not 1-1 or anything like that. I'm totally with you. I think Serrano won the first one. We both said that, and I was worried about. I think I backed Serrano for the second fight. I thought that Katie Taylor was showing signs of decline. I think but like we used to there, back end of the fight she does slow down, but she surprised me in the second fight. It's Serrano's saying that she leads with her head. She does sort of fall forward as she's throwing lots of shots. Is that So that's something that's been labelled, but that's just the way she fights. So Amanda Serrano will have to nullify that. I've got no issues with it. I don't think anyone's got any issues with this being the third fight, regardless of what the score is. And I think we're going to get round. Is it 2020 round 25? No, tell her that. That's
21.
Round 21. Yeah. They're going to come straight out, do the same thing again.
On that, Dave. Sorry, mate. On that, I'm glad you brought out the rounds because I wasn't going to mention it, but I literally forgot. Do you think, I won't say to be fair to Amanda Serrano, because obviously there are negotiations, but do you think we should have had 12 threes here? I know Katie's not a fan of it, and she'd probably lose if it's 12 threes.
She can't.
I think we should have had 12 threes for this. I mean, it's an undisputed fight as well, mate. Let's not forget, this is for all the marbles. Is it super lightweight they're at? She's at now 140, so Yeah, just
Yeah, Katie Taylor can't do it. We had this. She just can't. If it was 12 threes, Katie Taylor would be 2 down, and that's a fact. We've seen about Savannah Serrano. She does the rounds a lot better. She's been a big advocate. She threw the WBC belt in the bin for it.
Yeah.
Katie Taylor, like you say, she gasses late on in the fights, and she does, and that's at 10-2s. So there's no way it could happen, and Katie Taylor's never going to do it, which is it would be a totally different outcome for me. But they're going into this fight, round 21 for me, mate. They're going to go straight in and do exactly what they've done in all the other fights and put on a spectacle. It's going to be a great fight. Listen, you can't not get up for this. You know, their 2 fights were superb. It is the best fight in the division. This history-making fight for the women's. It'll go down as one of the greats trilogies, regardless of the score. And I have no doubt it's going to be an absolute barn burner again. Both fights were magical. Both fights were absolutely brilliant. And I'm right up for this, mate.
Mate, let's ask the question. I know it's going to be a hard one to answer because they both, like you just said, they both give everything. They go to the centre ring, they throw like fuck. You know, they look to knock each other out. But because it's 2-0 to Katie, what can Amanda do different to kind of set it in stone that she has won more rounds to the optic, you know, to the naked eye? That it is obvious this time. I'm not sure what she can do more. I know she's got more in the gas tank. Can she throw more? She throws. Katie's quite happy to throw back, and
that's what I mean. Maybe box at range. Yeah. Maybe box at range. Like you know what you're going to get with Katie Taylor. She pulls forward and she throws threes and fours. Yeah, and that's how she racks up her points. And like whether taking a step back and hitting her with a shot and pivoting, moving to the side and trying to box it. But it may not make for the fight that everyone wants, but it might be effective. Skills-wise, I would say Amanda Serrano is a better skilled fighter in that she could do them type of things. I'm saying you can do there, but you know, it might be a different approach because, like I mentioned the head earlier, you know, Katie Taylor does fall forward. You know, with her head, whether it's intentional or not, I wouldn't like to say.
She's the Josh Warrington of the female game.
Yeah, she is. And the only way that Amanda Serrano could nullify that is to not meet her centre of the ring. Now, do we want that as fans?
We don't, do we? No. We want to see Rock'em Sock'em, man.
Yeah, but like I say, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano's had 2 goes at this. So is it time for a change? You know, and change completely and bamboozle people and think, hold up, what's this? Now it might not be pleasing to the eye, you know, but it might be effective. Now so do I think she's going to do that? No, I think Amanda Serrano, she loves the fight game. She loves a scrap. I think she'll meet in the middle, but it's an option, and it might be something that they thought about doing. But it's going to be exciting, nevertheless, man. It's like I say, it's a fantastic fight, and it has the right to make 3 of them, regardless.
Agree. It's weird as well because she's the younger fighter, but I know it's only by 3 years. Amanda Serrano, she's the younger fighter, but she's had more miles on the clock. She's had 51 fights. Katie's had 20, 28, 29, whatever it is. Katie's probably been in more wars, but Amanda does seem the fresher. She seems the one that's getting better as well, where Katie's in decline, like you said, and she is, but she seems to find something from somewhere. That's why she's so exciting to watch. So come on then, legend versus legend. Does she do it this time, Amanda, or is it going to be 3-0 Katie, mate? What do you think?
I back Amanda Serrano in fight number 2, and I'm going to back Katie Taylor in fight number 3. Katie Taylor surprised me in the first fight.
I don't know what I'm laughing, actually. She's 2-0 up, so...
Yeah, listen, I backed her, and I said my reasons why, and I thought that Amanda Serrano was fresher, all that sort of stuff, and the back straight and out. But Katie Taylor surprised me in the second fight. Yeah. You know, like all the things that we sort of said that she would do, she didn't do. She didn't actually gas. You know, she threw punches from round 1 to round 10, and she beat Amanda Serrano to the punch. And for me, she won the fight clearly in the second fight. Now we all, I know we got on about it before. Amanda Serrano,
I wouldn't say clearly. I have to disagree with you there. I think it was still close. But I think
no, I don't mean that. But for me, when I watched the second fight, I felt that Katie Taylor won it, no doubt. So
compared to the first, you mean?
Yes, yeah. But for me, when the final bell went, I think Katie Taylor won that fight. For me, there was no doubt. There's no controversy in that. In the first fight, I felt like Amanda Serrano won, but it could have gone either way, you know. But I felt that Katie Taylor in the second fight done enough. I think it's going to be rinse and repeat. I think Katie Taylor wins on points.
It's Amanda for me. She's got to win one of these. She's been so close. She hasn't been robbed, and I'm never going to throw that because they were both close fights. But yeah, she's got to win one. Otherwise, I think we're seeing Katie Taylor versus Serrano Part 4. Look, I just said there on my opening state gambit, whatever. I don't want to see another one after this. But if they had to roll it back again, I'd probably watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what we're getting, but yeah.
It'll be Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 10. People will still watch it.
Yeah. Who had 4 fights? Oh, it's Marquez and Pacquiao, wasn't it?
5.
Was it 5? They rolled it back 5 times. So
yeah.
Mate, stranger things happen. We could see until Amanda gets that win, you know. But I'm hoping. Well, I'm not hoping. I like both girls. I've got a lot of time for both girls. They're both living legends. You know, they both put women's boxing on the map. They both delivered fights of the year. But I'm going to edge it to Amanda Serrano, mate. Amanda Serrano on points. Right, I'm gonna giggle now when I say this. Alycia Baumgardner, also known by David Holland as Sheeraz.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot I said that. Yeah,
she's back. The bomb, as she's known. She's back again. Undisputed, defending all her marbles at super featherweight. Undisputed fight here against, I think, Spanish Jennifer Miranda. Undefeated fight. Never fought out of Spain, but this is, let's be honest, this is about Baumgardner. This is a massive jump up for Miranda. I know Baumgardner's had her problems with the failed drug tests. She's back now. She had a weird fight with Delphine Bassoon on a strange card last year. Remember?
Oh yeah.
She knocked Bassoon down. Yeah, got stopped on a cut. And Bassoon's tough as they come, you know, the Belgian, but Baumgardner is one of the rare breeds that has got pop on her hands. Yes, we can laugh and say the Sheeraz thing. It kind of adds up. You know, where she's got that power from, but you know, she failed once. Was she juicy? The other fights we'll never know. But she can box, she can punch, she can be. She is exciting. I mean, she demolished Terry Harper. I mean, we're seeing a better version of Terry Harper now, but she got in there and she stopped Terry Harper on her feet. I think this is a big ask for Miranda. Am I glad to see Baumgardner back? Yes and no. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it, guys. I'm not sure she's had a proper ban. I'm not sure whether it was a silent ban, but there's nothing we can do about it. We can talk about Conor Benn and Dennis McCann and Jarrell Miller and all these Canelo and all these sorts of people. She kind of falls in the same bracket, but she's back now. She's fighting now. She is exciting when she's in the ring. And if we are going to see Alycia Baumgardner go forward, step up to different weight classes and maybe fight a Clarissa Shields, she's going to have to make, I wouldn't say a statement, but I think she's going to have to let us know that she's back and she's ready for business. And I think Jennifer Miranda here, Dave, I think she might be out of her depth. I think Baumgardner may be levels above. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I totally agree. Listen, of all the controversy that's come around Alycia Baumgardner, the women's division needs her. For me, there's not enough women out there to be putting stars like, and she's a star in the women's division on the back burner. Yes, she made a mistake. She was juicy. We're not for it, but a lot of fighters are doing it. So it's part of the sport, and we speak about it every week. I feel like Jennifer Miranda's being put on there as cannon fodder on a Netflix show for Alycia Baumgardner to make a statement against, and that's what I believe she will do. And I think that she'll make a statement in this fight and then start, shouting, rocking the mic, as you say. Because she's a brash American. Yes, she is. Who's got a lot to say, and I believe that's what she will do. And then from then on, it's big fights from then on. And I think she walks through Jennifer Miranda. Yes, she's undefeated. She's got 1 knockout on her record in 12 wins. So I don't see any sort of jeopardy there.
She's 38, Dave. I don't think she's ever fought out of Spain. I think she's ranked #1 contender for these belts. So she's going to try, but I just can't see, from what footage I've seen, mate. I can't see it. I think once Baumgardner tags her, I think she might go into panic mode or survival mode. And it'll only be a matter of time.
Totally agree, mate. I think Alycia Baumgardner rocks the mic, makes a statement, and stops Jennifer Miranda in round 3.
Yeah, I'm going to go round 2. I think, I'm going to go round 2. I think she's got unless she wants rounds, but do they really want rounds? Yeah, round 2. Either way, I think we both agree that there's going to be a stoppage from Sheeraz on Friday night. I love that. Fucking Sheeraz. So that's always stuck with that. That's brilliant. Again, world title fights galore on this card, ladies and gentlemen. Ellie Scotney, obviously now with MVP, fighting against this is a unification fight, the WBC champ in I'm just going to say Jan Mercado. I'm just calling him Mercado. I can't pronounce the first name. the Mexican girl. I love Ellie. I like Ellie, and I mean, and Dave have both said this when we've talked about Ellie's fights, reviewed and previewed. The way Ellie fights, I can't believe she hasn't got a stoppage on her record. I find it amazing that a girl that's front-footed, sits down and everything, puts pressure on her opponents, knocks fuck out the head, knocks fuck out the body. She hasn't stopped anyone. I'm amazed. I honestly, I can't believe that even like a standing stoppage, you know, that hasn't come her way. She's the best in this division for me. And as we spoke about Scar Nicholson in our last episode, on Monday's episode, guys, that down at this weight division, there's no competition here. It's Ellie Scotney and Scar Nicholson. Mercado is the champion. But from what I've seen, she's, again, I'm going to go down the cliche, a typical Mexican in the female breed. She's got a chin, but she hasn't got the work rate. She hasn't got the output of Ellie Scotney. I think this could be, I won't say an easy night's work for Scotney, but Scotney's on Netflix. People are going to know about Ellie Scotney on Saturday morning. Do I think she gets a stoppage? I don't think so. But I think she wins every second of every round, Dave. I've got a lot of time for Ellie Scotney. I think she's a fantastic fighter, and I'm glad she's getting paid because her opportunities were limited when she was at Matchroom. And then it could be this fight could, you know, take her on to a unification fight with Sky, you know, against a Matchroom fighter. But obviously, I'm jumping ahead. Ellie Scotney against Jan Mercado on Friday night, mate. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I'm totally with you, mate. And listen, when we say stuff about Jake Paul, all the shenanigans in the David McDonald from the last episode and all that sort of stuff, but for what he's done for women's boxing, and like for Ellie Scotney, Chantelle Cameron, all these girls that are now over in the States getting paid well on big platforms, this is great. Like I say, it's her first fight under him, and it's a UK fight. I mean, what more can you ask for? And I'm with you. For someone who's so aggressive and such a front forward fighter, to not get a stop, it is amazing. It is amazing. And but yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Like I say, but I'm with you. I think that she comes out and she does Ellie Scotney things. I think she's going to go centre of the ring, and she's going to win every second of every round.
I think so. Yeah.
I would love to see her get the stoppage. I just can't see it. I just can't see it. But like I say, I would love her to get it. And you know, on her debut with MVP and on Netflix on this stage, go out there and make a real statement in a world title fight. Yeah. I'd love her to, Jan Mercado to walk onto something. But I just think that skills wise, I think Scotney's going to stick to her boxing. She's going to box her head off and comfortably win on points. But I'd love to get the stoppage. I'd love to go bold enough to say that Ellie Scotney gets the stoppage. I just can't do it.
Do you remember Eddie's last fight against Mia Mutu when it went the distance? And I'm sure at the beginning of the fight, Mia Mutu had a bit of success, and Ellie I think she got caught a couple of times. Yeah. But she's in a bit of a fight here. Not only is she a front-footed, fast, aggressive fighter, she can box as well. She changed the game plan. She started boxing. She went on the back foot and then started catching on the way in, going on the inside, and then she got back into a rhythm. She's a world champion for a reason. She's not just a power punch. Well, she's not really a power puncher, but you get my drift. She's just not. Yeah. She's just not pure aggression. Ellie can box as well. So if Mercado does ask her any questions, the team behind her, the know-how, the IQ, she can switch it. She has got more than one game plan, and that's why I think she's such a great fighter, and that's why after this fight, I'm so confident that she will win. I'm going to go the same way as you, by the way, Dave. Points. I think we do need to see Ellie Scotney versus Sky Nicholson. It's the only fight to make down in this division. There's literally nothing else there. So. Yeah, same age. I think this Mexican girl, I don't know if you've got box rec in front of you there, Dave. I think she's got a few more miles on the clock. We know Mexicans start fighting when they're about fucking 5. Yeah. She's lost a couple of fights. Yeah. But pure bias as well with me, mate. Just going to be pure bias. I can't see what she does to beat Ellie. Unless she catches her cold. She's got some crazy Mexican power, but I just can't see it, mate. I can't see it.
She's been in, so she's got 3 defeats on her record.
Has she been stopped?
Never been stopped, but she's fought Amanda Serrano. She fought Amanda Serrano in 2021 and lost a unanimous decision.
No shame in that.
No. And then she so her last fight she fought Ramala Ali, which she won.
No, she's on this card, she is.
Yeah. So a couple of names there that you would know, especially Amanda Serrano. It doesn't say her age.
I mean, she's a champion. She's WBC, so let's kind of give her flowers to an extent. But when she's fighting one of our own, I don't mean anything from a British sense. I mean one of her own in terms, because I don't do the whole British thing. In terms of one of my favourite fighters, I've got a lot of respect for, and I just think she's wonderful. I can't really. all I can say, she is a world champion on her own right. But again,
Yeah.
I'll probably keep waffling and saying the same old thing. I just think it's going to be Ellie Scotney's night.
I think it will as well. So I say she's had 24 wins, 5 by KO and 3 losses.
Yeah. In agreement then, Scotney points, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scotney points. Chantelle Cameron, and again, fans of Chantelle, she's on here. This is for a WBC interim belt. Whoever wins this becomes mandatory to the winner of Serrano versus Taylor. Now, I feel sorry for Chantelle. I really do. She's gone over to Queensbury, had one fight under Uncle Frank for whatever reason. She couldn't get the fights. I don't think he's fully invested in female boxing like Eddie is. She's left. Jake Paul's picked her up, putting her on a massive stage, gotten her an eliminator for a title. But I do feel sorry for her in the sense that she should have got the proper trilogy with Katie Taylor. That was 1-1. Chantelle won the first one. Katie won the second one. Let's roll it back for the third. And she never got the opportunity. Whether it was to do with money, whether it was to do with purse splits, A sides, B sides, fighting in Dublin, fighting in the UK. I know Chantelle made some claims as well that she wanted to be the A side and certain things should go for her because it's 1-1. Couldn't care a fuck about the Katie Taylor name. Unfortunately, in boxing, when you've got a name like Katie Taylor, she's always going to be the A side. That's just how it works. But I do feel sorry for it. It should be her versus her versus Katie Taylor. However, it's not. She's got Jessica Kamara. We know about Kamara, Dave. We saw early on in the year taking on Caroline Dubois.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the cut that went to the cards, Dubois probably would have stopped there. Again, we just spoke about Ellie making statements, and Chantelle can punch.
Yeah.
Chantelle can punch. I mean, Ellie Scotney's got the output. Chantelle hasn't got the same output, but she can punch. I think she's got about 8 stoppages in her career.
Yeah, she has.
I think Kamara's going to get knocked out. I think Chantelle's going to do exactly the same as Ellie Scotney. I'm on Netflix. I'm high up on the card. I'm going to make a statement, and I'm going to be calling out Katie Taylor again. I want that trilogy. I see again, Chantelle, mate. Very underrated boxer, but we don't see her enough. She's not very active, and it's a shame because she's very pleasing to the eye. She can box, she can punch, she can entertain. I love watching her. So I'm again, fair play to Jake Paul for putting her on this card and giving her an opportunity of getting paid and getting herself back into that mix, up at 140,
Yeah, and like I say, I think the stars are aligning for Chantelle Cameron, especially obviously Katie Taylor's on this card as well. So Jake Paul can front the money. Everything, all the narrative is there for Chantelle Cameron to, come in through this fight, look good, get the stoppage, and then rock the mic and scream Katie Taylor's name, and Jake Paul can make that happen. Do
you think she wants it, Katie? Do you think she?
I don't think she does. No, I don't think she does. I don't think she does. I think she wanted to right the wrong, which she did. I think she's quite happy to leave it at 1-1. But like I say, Chantelle Cameron gave her, especially in the first fight, like I say, we talk about sort of game plan. She did walk on Katie Taylor onto shots in that fight. We were talking about Serrano earlier on in the earlier gambit. She did actually have a game plan and walk Katie Taylor onto shots, and it was successful.
Dave, she knocked her down as well. It wasn't given. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And that was Katie Taylor pouring forward, throwing lots of shots, pouring forward, and walking onto one. Chantelle Cameron has been, and rightly so. She gave Katie Taylor the rematch when it was 1-0.
That's what I mean. That's why I feel sorry for her.
Yeah,
and her career's been kind of stop-start since, Dave, isn't it? To be honest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of. I don't really want to talk about him, but Jack Catchall, Josh Taylor, won. It's sort of since from that Jack Catchall, his career was never the same. He spent his whole time chasing Josh Taylor rematches. That's all he ever talked about. He got it eventually, but for me, it's sort of stunted his career. Yeah. And I feel like that's the same way that Chantelle Cameron's gone. She got so fixated on.
Yeah.
So fixated on chasing the fight with Katie that she's lost. I think she's lost a lot of time.
I think you're right. I never thought about it like that. I think you're right, mate.
But I like I say, I also feel that this is closer to her getting that fight than it's ever been. The way that this show is working itself out, and the platform she's on, and what's going on in women's boxing, and I think she's going to make the statement. It's Jessica Kamara. She fought Caroline Dubois, nasty cut.
February, wasn't it?
Meant it was a technical draw, but she's been stopped twice. And Chantelle Cameron bangs. Like I say, her record, especially in the females, with 20 wins, 8 knockouts, that's a serious knockout ratio within women's boxing. And for me, I think she's going to make a statement, and this is the time to do it. I said this to her about losing time. She can gain a lot of fans in this now. Rock, they're like, who's this Chantelle Cameron? Oh, she fought Katie Taylor. Oh, it's 1-1. Like then their story builds itself, and this is the time to do it. So for me, she's going to stop Jessica Camara in round 4.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5. Also with this, Dave, when she does get the stoppage, when she does get the win, let's not stop and wait for Katie Taylor or Amanda Serrano, whoever's got those belts. Let's not stop and wait. Like I just said, she keeps chasing until she's get it. Let's keep active. Let's keep busy. Jake Paul, keep her busy and active because she's worth your weight in gold. She's such a good fighter. She's an entertaining fighter, and she will entertain. I'm confident we'll see that on Friday night. But let's not win. Let's not win on Friday and then see Chantelle same time next year. I don't want that for her because it's a waste.
Do you?
Sorry
to butt in, mate. Sorry to butt in. Do you think that regardless of the result on Saturday night between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, that Jake Paul could make Cameron versus Serrano and make that fight? Because we know where Katie Taylor
Amanda
is.
Can fight anyone.
That's what I mean. Is there? If she rocks the mic and that doesn't happen. With what Jake Paul's doing with MVP and all these women and that, could he match them two off and sell that fight? Because it would sell to us for certain.
Or Caroline Dubois. If Caroline Dubois was happy to meet at catchweight, or one of them Chantelle was to drop down a weight. I mean, the girls can move up and down in weights more easier than the men. That's why you see so many multiple weight world champions in these divisions. That's another option. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. It depends with Amanda as well. Obviously, she's going to be looking for legacy fights, pension pot fights. Is Chantelle a big risk? I mean, people say she ducked Sky. I don't think she ducked Sky. She wanted Sky over 12 threes, and they won't give it to her. Same as Katie Taylor, and that's why she kind of binned the belt with the WBC and things like that. But yeah, she needs names as well, Chantelle, doesn't she? She needs names fights like most of them, So, but what did you say? Round 3.
Oh, I said round 4. You said round 5.
I said 5. Yeah. Either way, we're both expecting Chantelle to get the job done by a knockout. No disrespect to Jessica Camara, but what we're seeing, she's not on the same level as Chantelle, and I fully believe she's going to turn up just like Ellie Scotney on Friday night, mate. Right, I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I was a massive Savannah Marshall fan. I still am. I haven't come off the train with her. She was my favourite boxer. We just spoke about Sheeraz and her knockout power, Baumgardner. Sav had a lot. Fight at higher weights. Everything she hit, she was just knocking girls down. She looked fantastic under the tutelage of Peter Fury. And I loved her to bits. And I thought she would get to Clarissa Shields in the end. And that fight, it just proved me wrong for everything I've said about Clarissa Shields pre that fight, how good Clarissa was. She took it to school. And she's kind of disappeared. Yes, I know she's gone into the PFL. We spoke about her fight when she was knocking the fuck out of that American girl, wherever she was in the PFL. She hasn't fought, Dave, for like 3 years? 2 or 3 years she hasn't fought. So I don't understand. This is what annoys me. I don't want to have a moan because I'm excited about this card. For, 2 years, I think it is. She hasn't fought for 2 years. How the fuck? She currently holds the IBF and WBO and the Ring Magazine belt, okay? The IBF are strict as fuck. They stripped Usyk. They stripped Canelo. How have they let Sav hold on to this belt for 2 years and not defend it? How's that happened?
Oh, no.
Do as you fucking like it. It's crazy, but I'm glad she's back. And this is a good fight. This is a good fight for what it's worth because this is puncher versus puncher. Sav can box. She's Sadisa Green. We saw her against Cruz Devon. It was an absolute shit show. It was just a mess. Sav can box. Shadisha Green can't.
No.
She's very messy in what she does. Her feet are terrible. She hasn't really got fundamentals, but she does have power. She does have punch power, same as Savannah Marshall. I think we could get a knockout here, mate. Yeah. Unless Sav goes back to the boxing, she's going to be ring rusty. She's going to want a couple of rounds to get into a rhythm. Peter Fury's not going to say, go out there and just spark her because she's going to go toe-to-toe with another hooker. You don't hook with a hooker.
No.
So I'm intrigued about this one. Obviously, I'm going to go for Sav because I love her. I was a massive fan of her. She's done, again, another multiple weight world champion defending her belts here. This is up at super middleweight, isn't it? For what it's worth in the women's division. I could see Green landing on her. I don't know if she has got power, but will it stun Sav? Will it hurt Sav? Will she be shocked? Will she not be ready because of the 2 years out? But when she gets into a rhythm and she sits down on her shots, she throws a beautiful right hook. Nice 1-2 combination. Spiteful cow at times. Savannah Marshall. She is, mate, isn't she? She is when she gets into a rhythm. I'm just glad to see her back. And I hope she stays. I hope she wins on Friday night, sorry. But I hope, again, just like Chantelle, I hope she wins and she stays active. I don't want her popping in and out the PFL into the boxing.
No.
I don't want to see that. Yes, I know level of opponents. We discussed it so many times. It's hard to match make because there's nothing in between. Yeah. But she's too excited. She's too good, not for us boxing fans and the casual fans to have a nosy at Sav. But I'm going here straight away, mate. I've been talking too long before you have your say on Savannah Marshall. I think it's going to be entertaining. I think there's going to be a lot of rock and sock'em, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that Sav gets a knockout. It'd be brilliant to see on this MVP card. So I'm going Savannah Marshall to knock out Shadisa Green in round 8. Your turn.
You took the words out of my mouth. I was going to go for 8. It's good to see her back. And I'm not really keen on the jumping in between MMA and boxing and all that sort of stuff. Listen, it was fun while they were talking about doing one, the amateurs with what's her name?
Clarissa.
The amateur, she won that one. Clarissa's now won the pro one. They're going to go and do it in MMA. Okay, there's a story there. There's a narrative there. It didn't happen. But I'm glad about it. And I want her to be in it and be into boxing and give that another good go. Like she worked her way to being a world champion. She's still a current world champion. But I want her to now, kick on and make another run to the top. But even though she's there, but like I say, she could come in today on Saturday, wipe out Shadisa Green.
Friday
wipe out and then rock the mic and say, let's do Clarissa again. There's a narrative there. It's 1-1. If you want to use the amateurs as that, it's 1-1.
Clarissa needs a dance partner as well, mate.
Clarissa needs Miss Savannah Marshall. She needs her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, she's rocking through the weights and going to heavyweight and all that. But there's a narrative to this. There's a story to this. It sells. What Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields are to each other is what Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano are to each other.
Yeah,
that's what it is for each other. You need your dance partners. You have your Eubank Ben, your Frotch Groves. They're all these guys where they're tied to forever. These two will be tied to
Morales, Ward Game. It still fits the narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah. So there's loads there, and I say, and you could watch Savannah Marshall. Listen, don't get me wrong. Savannah Marshall would need to improve if she fights Clarissa Shields again, because the boxing clinic that Clarissa Shields put on her in their fight was amazing.
Yeah, so one-sided. I was stunned. I've got to be honest, Dave. We weren't doing this then, but I was stunned how good she was that night.
I haven't seen her box like that before or after. She upped her game. She probably doesn't need to be a level opponent, but she upped her game for Savannah Marshall. So I'm with you. A little bit of ring rust, a couple of rounds to get her back into rhythm, shake the ring rust off, and then I think she goes through the gears here. And I think
can you see Green causing any sorts of problems with her power?
I don't think Green's that good. I've got to be honest. Yes,
not as a boxer. No.
Yes, she can punch. That's like you said, that DAZN Cruz fight was a stinker. But I didn't think much of DAZN Cruz either, and she was a world champion. So I think that Savannah Marshall is patient for the first few rounds, works herself into it. No, I don't think that Shadisa lands a glove on her. I've got to be totally honest. I don't think that she's going to work herself in a position to land that money shot, and it would be a money shot. So not for me, mate. I think Savannah Marshall's going to be patient, ease herself into the fight. And I would have gone round 8, but I'll go round 7.
Yeah, I think you're right as well, Dave.
I think it's a TKO. I think the referee jumps in. Yeah.
It's interesting what you say now, thinking about it. She's tall, rangy. She can get behind that jab, keep her at bay. Set traps, look for that shot. So I think she might be a bit more.
You've got to remember as well. Like Peter Fury was with Tyson Fury. Yeah, he's with Tyson Fury, so he knows how to box and train his fighters to actually box. Yes, Savannah Marshall can bang, but I don't think she's silly enough to walk in there trying to trade and then and walk onto something silly. It's just not in their makeup.
Yeah, no, she's not just a banger. That's what I'm trying to say. There's more to her game, Savannah Marshall, than just walking in there and stalking and just throwing haymakers. So yeah, mate.
I think she's going to show her class, and then and I think she's just going to tee off on her in round 7 and stop her.
Yeah. Hopefully, mate. Just quickly before we move on to Saturday night, there's Chanika Johnson versus She Metcalf. So we just picked out certain fights. That's a unification at bantamweight. If that delivers, me and Dave will speak about it. And Dave mentioned there about Ramla Ali, British Somalian, gone into boxing. She was, I think she was with Eddie, wouldn't she? And Jake Paul's taken away up to MVP. She's got a certain kind of audience, which is will have eyeballs on this massive card on Netflix. I think Netflix doing this is fantastic because as a boxing fan, I've had conversations this week. I've been into the women's Euros. You know what I'm like for being argumentative and people slagging off the women and things like this. I'll be down in London anyway on Friday, like with yourself, but I will set my alarm to watch this because there's some cracking fights and some cracking names in there, and there's girls going to be looking to make statements, and you couldn't have it on a bigger platform than Netflix. It's got to be the biggest streaming service in the world. Everybody's got it. So you want free boxing, part of your subscription that starts at $5.99. Get cracking into this. It's going to be a great night of boxing. There could be an upset. There could be some knockouts. Well, we're hoping there's going to be some knockouts. And the main event will deliver. If it doesn't deliver, there's something seriously wrong. Yeah,
it will. It will deliver.
I think he's done well here, Jake Paul. Fair play to him. He's, MVP and the co-promoter. I think I can't remember who it is now, but there's obviously somebody helping with it. But yeah, thoroughly looking forward to it. Thoroughly looking forward to it. So yeah. That's on Netflix on Friday. On Saturday, pay-per-view on DAZN. We're over at Queens in New York, the Louis Armstrong Stadium. Never heard of that one, Dave.
No.
Never heard of Louis Armstrong. That's a new one on me. So it'd be interesting to see what that's all about. Headlining this card, Edgar Berlanga versus Hamzah Sheeraz. Now, very intrigued by this fight.
I am.
Very intrigued. Edgar Berlanga we've done his fights in the past. He can punch like a mule. We had 16 first-round stoppages. He was going on the same journey as Xander Zayas. Come to a halt, still winning, but the knockout stopped. He was getting outboxed, but he was just doing enough. Whereas Xander Zayas, again, the Puerto Rican kind of narrative, if you like, he's gone on to become a well-rounded boxer. Where Berlanga's kind of just stood still. Yes, he had the Canelo fight and lost, and had the open top bust and things like that. But he's a natural 168 fighter. And what he can do is punch. And what he does do is punch fucking hard. Hamzah Sheeraz, who I'm a fan of, and this is what I'm getting to now about my loyalty and having a dog and wanting a certain person to win. Hamzah Sheeraz, he got beat against Carlos Adames. Let's be totally honest, down at 160. He's a big boy. No idea how he made super welterweight, let alone fucking middleweight. He's too big. He's coming up to a more natural weight, can punch himself, can box, tall, rangy, gets behind that jab, uses it a power rod. He can probably school Edgar Berlanga. I don't rate Edgar Berlanga as a boxer. We've seen him trying to make improvements, but he's just not that guy. There's danger here for Hamzah Sheeraz. There's jeopardy here. Hamzah Sheeraz can burst onto the scene at 168 and add to the Mbillis, add to the Pachecos, add to the Plants.
Yeah.
He takes his eye off the ball. This guy hits a lot harder than Ammo Williams. And if he lands, Dave, Hamzah Sheeraz is going to sleep. I haven't made my mind up. I kind of have. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't think this is plain sailing for Hamzah Sheeraz, man. I'm looking forward to this fight. I really am, because two different styles here. Hamzah Sheeraz has to stay switched on for 36 minutes. He has to, because Edgar Berlanga will get to him if he doesn't. He just will. He's too big. He's too strong. He's a natural 168 fighter. Forget the height. I know it's 6'3". I know he has got advantages, but Ammo Williams, a lot smaller, I know it's at middleweight, but he was able to navigate his way inside and land the shots. And he rocked Hamzah a couple of times. Ammo Williams does not hit like Edgar Berlanga. And Edgar Berlanga bangs. So I'm looking forward to it, mate. I really am.
I am. Look, it's a risky fight to take on your first fight at 168. It came out of nowhere, this fight. I mean, I mentioned it on Dave McDonald. I wouldn't say it's a strange one, but we talk about fighters having one when they first move up, dipping their toe in. We talk about it all the time, dipping their toe in and having a. Didn't need to take an Edgar Berlanga. Now we've been critical of Edgar Berlanga in the past. Like you say about his boxing, do we think that he's ready for the Canelo when that came up? We didn't think that he was. He hadn't done enough, but yes, he's got the knockouts and stuff like that, but we felt boxing-wise he probably didn't. So there was question marks there. But this is, I've been thinking about this one today, and I've been struggling with this. And you made some valid points, and it's exactly what I'm thinking. The only thing is that Hamzah Sheeraz got away with one in his last fight, and he really, really did, and he got outboxed. Now, I'm not for 1 minute saying that Edgar Berlanga, is a great boxer, but
he's not.
No, but like I say, but he is a danger with his power in that division, and we speak about that division being stacked, full of names in the top 10. your Mungais, your Plants, all these type of guys, and we put Berlanga in that. Regardless of what we felt about how he performed against Canelo, we put him in that. So this is a risky fight, and it might be a little bit too soon for me for Sheeraz. I've got a bad feeling. I've got a vision in my mind, and it ain't good for Hamzah Sheeraz.
It lands, doesn't he?
Yeah. And now the bias, I want Hamzah Sheeraz to win, and and I do. I've got a dog in this fight, and I do want Hamzah Sheeraz to win, and I'd like him to. But you made a point, and it's something that stuck with me. It's being switched on for 36 minutes. Can he be switched on? I'm unsure, because you made a point there. He does get caught with silly shots, and like I say, he got away with one. He was outboxed badly by Carlos Adames, and we were questioning him at that point, especially with Yannick Beck, and we were saying he's one of the weaker champions, all that sort of stuff. And he was made to look amateurish, really, at times. Now this is a different type of fight. Well, it might suit Hamzah Sheeraz. We talk about 50-50. This is a hard one. I think Hamzah Sheeraz is going to come out and box well. He's going to start well. Use his attributes that you stated in your opening gambit there. But I think that
sticks behind his jab, doesn't he? He's tall, rangy.
Yeah, I just
uses it as a power rod.
I don't think he can keep it up though.
Well, there's a butt coming here. There's a butt coming here.
Yeah, I think that he's going to come out too quick and not pace himself. I think he's vulnerable down the back straight in this fight. Yeah. I think Edgar Berlanga was going to wait for that money shot, but I think he's going to. I wouldn't say allow Hamzah Sheeraz to take the early rounds, but I think Hamzah Sheeraz is going to come out early and bag the early rounds. But I think that my question is can he keep it up? And I'm going to go bold. Fuck it. I think Edgar Berlanga stops him in round 9.
I think the same, but out of loyalty and having a dog in the fight, I'm going to have to go Sheeraz on points.
I've just got. Do you know what? Sorry to jump in, Dave.
Same as you, mate.
I've got the vision of him laying on his back, like getting up. Like he's been caught with a shot that he hasn't seen. But he buzzed on the temple and been hit with a shot, and that he's on his back and he's trying to get up. I've just got a bad feeling.
See, mate, if he was fighting, you're right what you're saying. This is a dangerous fight to dip his toe in at 168. He's getting well paid. He's Turkey's boy, ambassador for this is a Ring magazine card, etc. Whatever goes along with it. If he was saying somebody like a Trevor McCumbee, who would be a hard night's work, but doesn't have the pop of Edgar Berlanga, I could see Hamzah Sheeraz kind of maybe getting knocked down, but be happy to get back up, or a flash knockdown and reset himself. As you rightly said there, I can see him on his back and struggling to get back up, can't beat the count and falls down. Yeah. Because Edgar Berlanga does hit hard. Well, say what I heard somebody in the week, like on the TV, and that was saying about the 16 knockouts at Edgar Berlanga, they were against nobodies, and I kind of get that. But that's irrelevant of somebody's chin. You can be a journeyman and can't punch your way out of a paper bag, but you might have a rock solid chin. Yeah. He was sparking dudes for fun, and he was just catching them in the right place and knocking them out cold, knocking them out clean. He come against people that could box. So he got a bit limited then, and he had to rely on his power, and he had to try different things in the ring to get. Maybe there were some fights there, like the Steve Rolls fight, that he didn't win, but being with Top Rank at the time, pushing in Puerto Rican, New York, and all that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, mate, Edgar Berlanga's selling this fucking well. He's doing really well selling this fight. It's a fair play to him. Hamza's playing his part as well. It's the New York gangster Puerto Rican against the smart Asian from the UK. Talks well. It's a really good sell. I love what they're both doing. But I can see Hamzah on his back. I can.
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. No, I'm going Hamzah points, man. But you've gone bold. I'm going to go Hamzah points. I've got to stay loyal to the boy. I think you can do it. Maybe does he do it boring? I don't know. But switching on for 36 minutes is vital. But I'm really looking forward to this at the weekend. Really looking forward to this fight. So yeah. Talking of favourite fighters again. I can't go against him. William Zepeda fell in love with him since me and you have done this podcast. He's got his chance now, Dave. He's taking on Shakur Stevenson for the WBC lightweight title. Shakur is Soames boxing. He is the sweet science. He can't land on the motherfucker. Doesn't do anything wrong. Doesn't excite people. But he does a little bit more than Jack Catterall. When he's asked, he can sit down with his shots, and he does mix his shots up. He's a bit more exciting than Jack, even though people do call him a runner and things like that. Zepeda's got his chance. He's been waiting for this chance. It was made. It was cancelled. He had a baby. He went in with Tevin Farmer, was asked questions. He was put down, came through the second one. You know, it wasn't as close as the first one. What he's got to do, Dave, and you'll probably agree, he's got an old man, Shakur Stevenson. He's got to be all over him like a cheap coat for 36 minutes. Do not give him an inch. Do not let him get into a rhythm. Do not give him time. Do not give him space. William Zepeda's got one of the best gas tanks in world boxing. Use it, man. Make it ugly. Don't give him a chance. You know, use the dark arts if you have to, because if you don't, and if you let Shakur get into that rhythm, he will school you to death. He'll school any motherfucker. You just can't. And that's what I'm relying on with William Zepeda. Don't give him an inch. Do not give him any. Don't let him get time to establish his range. Don't let him get his feet moving. Once he sets his feet and he gets into a rhythm and he's got you where he wants you won't be able to land on him. The only thing he's got is that gas tank and that output. That may be. This is going to be a hard fight for Shakur Stevenson if William Zepeda is able to execute that game plan I said just there. But it's a big ask for Zepeda, Dave. Mate, it's a real big ask because this guy, Shakur Stevenson, whatever anybody thinks about him being boring, back foot and stuff like that, he's got the skills to pay the bills. He's probably is technically one of, if not the best boxer in world boxing, you know? Yeah.
Listen, this is a super fight, mate. This is a super fight, and we've been calling for it, and we've been look forward to it, and it's now coming. And I'm excited for it. It's two different styles. It's you know, it's Shakur Stevenson who can box on the back foot, one of the slick black Americans, sharp shoots, very accurate, you know, spiteful. And you've got William Zepeda who's got, like you said, got the best engine in world boxing, and he has. Is this fight happening because of his performances against Tevin Farmer? Possibly. You know, this could have stewed for a little longer.
He was the interim champion, wasn't he? So to be fair, WBC have done something right for a change. They're making the interim versus the full champion. So
they are. But like I say, you know, had the first fight against Tevin Farmer not happened, I think that this may be marinated for a little longer. It'd be one of them ones where it's going on too long. It's here now. I think that Shakur Stevenson thinks this is the time for it, which is why it's happening. And again, I'm looking forward to it. I'm with you. Zepeda, we know what Zepeda's going to do. He's going to go straight out on the front foot. But I think Shakur Stevenson, you know, he would have seen this type of style before. Maybe not to the extent of William Zepeda, because obviously the engine is unbelievable.
Yeah, he hasn't been in anyone with an engine like this. That's the difference. He
has been in with guys that are trying to push him back, and he knows how to box on the back foot. And he knows what to do.
Dos Santos, his last fight, well, John before Padley. Dos Santos was a perfect example when people were leaving the arena. That he put the pressure on, didn't he? And he
exactly. But listen, one thing's for sure, he's not going to do this. And there is pressure on him. They're talking about this run-in and Tom and Jerry, all this sort of stuff. He's not going to stand there and meet William Zepeda in the ring. Now, we said that the way to beat William Zepeda is to try and push him back. I don't foresee Shakur Stevenson being that guy. So I don't think it's not going to be a cat and mouse. It's not, because for me, Shakur Stevenson's better than that. But I think that he's going to he's going to try and walk him onto some meaningful shots, and it's going to make. I think it's going to be a good fight. I think this not for 1 minute suggesting that Shakur Stevens' breakout night, but this would be one of the biggest wins on his resume, and I think it's going to be. I think Shakur Stevenson is going to put on a real good performance here. You know, like the things that have been labelled at him running and all this sort of other stuff, and like you said, people leaving the arena and stuff like that. I think he's going to put on a block boxing masterclass here.
We know he's got it. That's the thing. We know he's got it.
And I think he is. I think he's going to show that he's. Well, I think he's going to be out to prove that his level's above William Zepeda. Now, I love William Zepeda's style. I loved that front forward fight. And you know, we spoke about Ricky Hatton. He was a front forward fighter. Not with the engine like that, but you know, he would get you on the ropes, to the body and all that stuff. But it was all front-footed pressure, and I like that type of style. So this for me, it's going to make for a great fight, a really good fight. I'm going to go in now. I think Shakur Stevenson wins on points.
Yeah, I do as well, but I can't back him. I have to stay low. This is what's fucking me up now in the prediction league. Look, mate. The thing is, well, with William Zepeda, he hasn't got one punch concussive power. Everything with him is accumulative, and if he can't, I know he's got the pace and the engine to do it, the lung capacity. But if he can't break Shakur Stevenson down with those punches, that output, I don't think he'll stop him. And I just can't see him beating him on points. And that's why I think he has to old man him and things like that. So we're talking about going bold, and this is pure bias. This is pure hope and wanting to see and the new. Somebody's always got to go here. It's 33-0 versus 23-0. This is a massive bold statement, but I'm going to go the complete opposite here. I don't want to do it because I do think Shakur wins, but being a prick and being loyal, I'm just going to go with William Zepeda to stop Shakur Stevenson. That's crazy. I know, but I can't see him. I'm going to be honest. I can't see him beating him on points. I just can't. I can't see anybody beating him on points.
What round?
Got to be late, innit? I'm going to go 12 last round.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, if that happens, I'll give you the whole win. It won't matter about the score.
It's not going to happen.
You can
win the best version, mate. We're going to have to see the best version of William Zepeda. Oh, we have to. They can't be 99.9% of him. He has to be 100%. You cannot let him get into any rhythm. You're going to have to make it ugly, man. I know I keep repeating myself and I'm getting boring, but there's no other way you can beat him. There's really not. So yeah, I do think Shakur wins, but I'm hoping William Zepeda knocks him out or stops him. TKO, standing stoppage, standing count in the 12th round. So yeah, again, really good fight. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah.
Another world title fight on the line here. Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias, Dave. Subriel Matias, the boogeyman's back.
Yeah.
This is what I like. This again, I don't like to make it about Jack Catchall. Subriel Matias lost to Liam Parrow. Liam Parrow old manned him.
Yeah.
Boxed him as well. Made it awkward for a guy. Again, talking about gas tanks. Subriel Matias is just like William Zepeda. Comes forward, lots of output, does not stop all night. This is a bad matchup for Puello. Puello ain't that guy. He's a slick boxer on the back foot. Accurate, times his shots. I'm not sure he can keep Matias off, but Matias, talking about Jack Catchall, had that loss, gone away, had 2 rebuild fights, got himself a new promoter. I think it's with Dimitri Salita now, and he's worked his way into a world title shot. Now, why the fuck couldn't Jack do that? We know why, because he's a hard sell and he's boring. Matias ain't boring. Is the boogeyman back, Dave? Does the boogeyman get his world title back? Does he smash Alberto Puello? I think he does.
Oh, this is another tough one.
It's a good fight. Puello's no mug. He can box, but Matias is again. It's the output, the stalking, the gas tank, and he's got power. The guy can bang, and he's Puerto Rican. It's gonna be full of Puerto Ricans in there on Saturday night, though.
It is. This is a close fight for me. I don't know whether. I'm with you. Subriel Matias has everything in this fight that all the attributes are in his favour for me. He can bang. He can push it forward. But you talk about old man in him and using boxing skills. I don't know. I think Alberto Puello could frustrate Matias.
Yeah, I do as well. I do, mate.
I think that's. This is a tough one. For me, it's going to depend on the tactics from Puello. If Puello thinks for any type of minute that he can stand there and trade with Matias, I think he'll get caught.
He gets stopped. I'm thinking now, like we were doing for the previous 2 fights for Hamzah and Zepeda. I can see Puello pot shotting on the back foot. Yeah, because he's going to be following him around the fucking ring. Matias won't stop. It's a world title fight. He wants his belt back. This
is what I'm saying, and it could be a point where he frustrates him, and it starts instead of closing off the ring, he's sort of chasing him around the ring.
Yeah,
but and that's the vibe I get. So obviously when your opening gambit there, when you was talking about Subriel Matias, being and he was the boogeyman, and he had that run. But I could just see Puello outpointing him with plenty of movement and pot shotting, plenty of lateral movement, moving around the ring, and making Matias look old. That's the vibe I sort of get.
Hitting shadows, as well.
Yeah, chasing shadows. Exactly that. Chasing shadows. That's the sort of vibe I get from this fight. Now, I would love nothing more for it to be the boogeyman comes out and it's all blood and guts. I just don't see it.
Yeah, mate. He hit a road arm. He's rebuilt now. He's back to where he belongs. That kind of.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got the one punch power to do that. I just think that Alberto Puello is going to be switched on. I think he's going to be switched on and put on a real good boxing performance because he can't match Matias in any other department. He ain't going to stand there and try and fight with him, like you said. That ain't happening. So he has to use his attributes, which is the box. Use plenty of good footwork. Lovely jab, move. Plenty of movement and win the fight that way. and that's what he's going to do, mate. I'm going to have Alberto Puello on points.
Yeah. Mateus stoppage round 6.
You just gets me today.
Good fight, mate. I'll tell you what, Uncle Turks must be throwing cash willy-nilly because Puello's a PBC fighter. So Al Heyman must be making a good bunch because he doesn't like his fight outside PBC. Yeah. I thought he would have gone for the rematch with Gary Antoine Russell and the unification to keep the belts in-house.
Yeah.
So he must be making, it's a lot of money on the line as well here, mate. But again, it's a legit world title. I think it's going to be a great fight.
Like what you said there, Mateus, round 6, I could, that could happen. I just think I just think that Alberto Puello is fully aware that can happen, and I just think he's going to be switched on, and I just think the boxing is going to be, plenty of boxing.
Yeah.
And I think Mateus will try, and he'll be the one. And Puello could end up getting criticised for the way he's going to perform in this fight, but it'd be all Mateus. I was the one that was trying to bring the fight. I could see all that sort of thing happening. But I think
you're right, mate. I'm trying to.
I just think Puello's just going to be just trying to keep. I wouldn't say safe, but I think he's going to coast to a points win.
That's bold. Coast.
Yeah. No, I don't mean.
No, I'm joking.
On the scorecards, I can see it being quite wide, even though Mateus will press the fight, if you know what I mean. But I think the quality boxing and the eye-catching work you'll see from Puello, whereas I think that Mateus will be throwing hooks, trying to stop him. It'll be more of that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. This is what makes it a great fight, guys. They're calling a big spoof because
none of the fights are like
thinking.
that. All these fights so far have got me, and they could go either way. There's a case for what both of us are saying.
Yeah, he's putting a good card here, Uncle Turks.
He has.
I think Oscar De La Hoya is co-promoted. I think Oscar. If you go into BoxRec, it says Oscar De La Hoya show, so he's involved. Obviously, he's got William Zepeda here as well. So. Yeah. Lastly, guys, David Morrell Jr. versus Imam Kayatev. Now, this is interesting. This one, Dave. I've heard a lot of people talking about Kayatev back last week.
Yeah.
When the fight was made, obviously David Morrell's coming off that loss to Benavidez. Doesn't look like he's had 2 fights now at light heavyweight. He's took on David Benavidez and he's took on Hot Rod. Doesn't look like he's taken that vicious power he had at 168 to light heavyweight. Mm-hmm. It's yet to be seen. But I sent you this. I watched the highlights today of Kayatev, and I sent them over to you. Yeah. And people talking about him being a problem. He's a bit of a beast, this Russian, isn't he? Are you thinking banana skin here? Because David Morrell hasn't looked great, has he? And he's fighting against a natural 175er.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I watched the footage that you watched, and I don't want to be critical, but I will. Yes, he looks like a real strong man. Some of the way that he throws his punches is a bit weird for me. He sort of throws them from the waist. Now he does throw a lovely body shot. Don't get me wrong. He picks his shots very well, but for me, he looks very wide open. Now, say what you want about David Morrell. He's a Cuban, isn't he? They're well schooled in their boxing. Yes, there's a question mark as to whether he's brought the power up, but he gave David Benavidez a really good fight in their fight. I just looking at the guy, he does look a bit like a killer. He looks like, he looks like one of them Eastern European, like your Kovalevs, where it's just like boom, he does have that sort of Kovalev vibe about me. But although I think Kovalev was a better boxer, I just think
he has a better beer vibe as well. I'm not comparing the two fighters. Yeah, he has that kind of Russian monster, vicious
that walk through you, destroy you. Yeah. With the problem I've got with him is that he loads up too much. Every shot is a power shot. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can keep that pace up and keep that power up through the fight from start to finish, great. He's got 9 stoppages in 10 fights, so he hasn't had to do it around.
Next, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That's a
he hit him to the body. So his body work's good. He is a danger, I feel, to a certain level of opponent. I think David Morrell Jr. might have a bit too much. I think he might have a little bit too much IQ for him. Now, if David Morrell puts his back on the ropes and lets this guy tee off, there'll be a problem. But for me, he's very open up. He's open through the middle. When he throws shots, he throws them from his waist here. And for me, he's wide open. And I think that if David Morrell Jr. can be up on his toes and keeping it compact, I think he can catch him on the way in. This guy's definitely not been chin checked. So we don't know if he can take a shot just yet. But I think he is going to I think he's going to cause David Morrell Jr. some problems because I think he's going to come out straight out of the traps. But if looking at the footage that I'd seen on him, he's aggressive. He comes forward, throws lots of shots. He does pick a shot very well. I'll give him that. His
He loves
shot
a body shot, doesn't he? Yeah.
He does love a body shot. But I think that David Morrell Jr. may be a little bit too wise for that, mate. I think that he's not going to let him tee off on the ropes in him. I think he's going to show plenty of movement footwork, show a bit of a boxing IQ, and box him. And I think that's the way to beat him. So for me, I'm going to go for David Morrell Jr. to win on points. But I think this guy's going to have his moments.
Yeah. Do you know what worries me a little bit about David? You mentioned him about being Cuban, having the fundamentals, and all that goes along with it. That's a fact. That's true. That is what he has. I know Benavidez is a massive step up from Hot Rod, but you compare the Hot Rod fight and the Benavidez fight in the back end of both those fights, when he's not getting his own way, when he can't land the shot, or Benavidez and Hot Rod were comfortable with his power, he runs out of ideas and he looks a bit fake, and it's not the word, but I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to go on the back foot and keep trying the same thing over and over again. If this guy, I think it's over 10 rounds, I think it's one, Dave.
Yeah.
If this guy is still doing what he's doing, coming forward and throwing body shots, head to body, come round 8 or 9, I'm not. He's still in the fight. I'm not sure David Morrell Jr.
My only issue is that the David Morrell step up to Benavidez feels like the Komatov's is it Katia? Sorry, man, I'm shit with names. Imam. It feels like that's the type of step up. That's the type of step up for him, for David Morrell.
Yeah.
I get that. Is it a little bit too soon? Is the guys he's been in with, they're questionable? Yes, he can definitely bang. Yes, he does. He picks a good body shot. I just feel like at this stage, David Morrell's just a level above. But again, he can fight. So for me, if David Morrell Jr. decides to trade, it could be a problem. But if he does anything other than then try to box him, I think he could go into a dogfight that he doesn't need. Yeah, this guy can definitely fight.
Yeah, he's
so
scary,
so I think there's
also, Dave, sorry, mate. Also on this, David Morrell, there's been a hype around him. He's too big for super middle. Can't be bothered to wait for Canelo. He's a big puncher. He's gone up and he's kind of disappointed. He'd be looking as well to make some kind of statement when people are on about this guy in the boxing community doing a job on Morrell Jr. He doesn't want to become a forgotten man because he hasn't looked good. He'd be looking to make a statement himself. Hopefully he can get that confidence back. Hopefully he can use the footwork, the boxing IQ that he's got being from Cuba. Yes, it's a cliche, but he has got the skills. Just kind of runs out of ideas back into the fight. I think I'm not going to go bold because he is the favourite, but just before you finish off there, mate, to interrupt, I'm going to go for David Morrell to make a statement. I'm going to go for a knockout. I'm going to go for an early knockout as well. I'm going to go for David Morrell to knock him out in round 2.
Oh,
there, I said it. Yeah. This guy's scary, but I said about him being quite open through the middle. I think you're right. I think you're right because they're not in Billy swings, but they are kind of where there's no guard. So I think David Morrell could. IQ you've mentioned there. I think the IQ could be a bit too high.
He's wide open, like I say. And you sent me that clip, and I watched it, and I saw it from the very first attack that he made straight away. I thought he's wide open, and then I watched the rest of it. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, he does pick a lovely shot and all that, but he's too wide open for me, mate. And I think David Morrell exploits that. So I think he's a tough guy. I think it's going to be points, but. Yeah, like I say, they're all intriguing to me, mate. They're all intriguing fights.
Which one are you looking more forward to watching?
It's
Friday and Saturday combined because you've got a lot to choose.
Listen, I know Man of Serrano, and that's going to be fantastic. But I'm looking forward to the big one, like everyone else is. For me, the biggest fight is Shakur Stevenson Zepeda. I'm intrigued in that. I'm intrigued in all of the fights. I really am. All the ones we've covered, I really am, because they are 50-50 fights. But we've been calling for this one. The boxing community have, and I just want to see how both fighters are now that they're facing each other. And same with Shakur Stevenson. I want to see how he reacts to William Zepeda. What he's like under this type of pressure. I want to. I'm intrigued to see it. I'm intrigued to see all of them. I'm looking forward to these fights, and I'm looking forward to talking to you again with them next Monday because this is going to this should be good.
Mate, let's just remember the last time we had 2 cards back to back, a New York card and a Riyadh card. And they failed to deliver.
Yeah, I know.
Let's hope
this can't happen this time. It can't
happen. Lightning can't strike twice for Uncle Turks. I mean, I remember people blaming him. You can't blame him. He's not in there fighting. He's putting the best fights on he can. They just didn't deliver. Just hopefully they have to deliver. They have to deliver. This is on the Zone pay-per-view, by the way, guys. I think when this kicks off, we'll still be at the wedding, mate, getting absolutely wankered. Remember, this is on Saturday night.
We'll have to watch it on your phone.
Definitely, mate. So yeah, that's our preview. Just to end the show, guys, the winner's weekly wager. So at the beginning of the show, we knew Dave. He's saying Jesus has got to pick now. He's got to pick one. So the weekly wager, guys, the charity of your choice at the end of the year, £86 was in the pot going into last weekend. Dave went for Sky Nicholson by knockout in round 5. She'd done it in round 2, so he earned 3 points there for us. We double it into 6 points, and obviously we turn it into pounds. So going into this week's winners weekly wager, hosted by Mr. Holland, £92, mate. We're getting closer to 100. Can you get it over 100 this weekend? You've got a lot to choose from, mate. So where's your banker? Well,
my banker of the week is going to be from Friday night. I think the 4 fights that we covered on Turkey's card are too close to call. They all 4 of them could go either way, even though we've picked them. So I'm going to do it on the all-female card, and the one I'm going to pick tonight is Chantelle Cameron.
I thought you were going to say Sheeraz then. I was waiting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Sheeraz. Yeah. But no, Chantelle Cameron. I think like I said earlier on, I think this is tailor made for her to start screaming and shouting for Katie Taylor or anyone there. You know what I mean? Yeah. She could turn around and say, "Well, look, me and Serrano can do it. I've beaten Katie Taylor. You never have. That's me and you do." You know, she could. You know, it's all there for her to rock the mic. So I think it's tailor-made for her, and I hope she does it. So for me, the winner's weekly wager falls to Chantelle Cameron, and me and her chat a couple of times on Twitter, so we're friends.
There you go. Bit of bias in there as well, mate. Yeah, I think it's a good choice. If I would have won, which I haven't for the last 2 weekends, I'd have probably gone the same. I might have just edged to Sheeraz. I don't think a opponent's going to do anything against her, but who knows? But yeah, a good choice there, mate. So. Yeah, that's the end of the episode, guys. Yep. We'll normally say what you're up to the weekend, but I'll be meeting up with Dave hopefully on Friday when we'll get down to London, mate. It'd be nice to catch up with you and Mickey McGrath and Adam Miller for our good mate's wedding. Lee Harper, a friend of the show that never listens. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Will we be able to record on Monday, or will we still be hanging? Who knows? Will I make it home? Who knows? We just don't know. But it's going to be a messy one. I'm looking forward to it, mate. It'd be
it'd be good.
Yeah, be good, mate. So, apart from that, any plans for the rest of the week, mate? Between Tuesday and it's Thursday now. Thursday now. I forget we were recording on a Monday, but this has gone out Thursday. So.
No, mate. Just working, just grafting, and getting ready for the wedding. Need to go and make sure my suit fits. I haven't worn it for a fucking year and a half, 2 years. So
you're still going down the suit route, are you? I'm going smart casual, so I'm
look a bit of a scruff, listen, I'll do the bit, and then I'll peel most of it off. Yeah. So get the guns out and all that. And then, and then it don't matter. Then the tie will be around the head, and we'll be doing hoops upside your head and all that shit. Will you be singing "Lady in Red"? There's too many ladies there that we know to be singing that. Yeah,
we'll save that story for another episode.
Let's say she's wearing red. Then yeah.
Yeah, make sure she does then, mate.
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Because once I've had a few, and if there's a mic knocking about, I might just be calling you up, mate. But
oh, Jesus Christ. It'll be steaming by then.
Not half. So yeah, mate, looking forward to seeing you. Ladies and gentlemen, looking forward for you to listen to this episode as well. Like, share, and subscribe via not Apple anymore, via Spotify and YouTube. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's the end of episode 134. We will catch you next Monday, hopefully. So have a great weekend. Stay safe. Hope you've enjoyed this podcast. And you have to enjoy the bloody boxing. There's so much to go through. So looking forward to next week. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your week, mate. And I'll catch you Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate. See you soon.
Take care, brother.
Hello.